Welcome and salutations, everybody on YouTube. Welcome back to TooStupidGamerz. It's your boy Zero.
And Nanners.
And BioVenom.
And we're here to talk about a very important topic. One that's very important to me. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of the PlayStation Classic. Basically, a mini PlayStation 1, as you guys can see here, the original one, and original controller, my personal PS1. They're having this made into a very small mini console, and they're packing 20 games into that thing, giving us 2 of the original controllers. And yeah,
we just wanted to talk about it. We have some thoughts on it.
We have some thoughts on it.
I want to take a shit on it. It's not a good idea for it.
I think it's a fantastic idea. The problem is the choice of games. Now, I have a lot of amazing memories with this thing right here. I played some amazing games on it. The Crash series, Spyro series, Jet Moto, Gran Turismo. Mm-hmm. The list can go on.
And it still works, too.
It still freaking works, too. I keep myself in really good condition.
I'm surprised, because mine's collecting dust.
I mean, mine was in a drawer collecting dust, but still. It still works. And I just love this system so much, and I love Sony products. Like, you guys see us mainly play on PlayStation stuff. That's, again, it holds a big part in my heart. You, maybe not so much.
Oh, you never had one?
Not as a kid, no.
Oh.
My experience with Sony was playing at a friend's house, and we would never play that. We would just play like Nintendo instead. I only had Nintendo consoles up until high school. But then I came over to Sony for the PS3, and I had a blast.
But let's get back on topic with the fucking PS1 Classic. Sony, they announced it a couple months ago, and they said they were gonna, and they said it was gonna be 20 games. All right. The first, they told us the first 5 games, which were Jumping Flash, Final Fantasy VII. Let's see, what's the other one here? Tekken 3, pretty good. That's 3 already, right? Wild Arms, and Ridge Racer Type 4. Jumping Flash, I was a little bit iffy about it, but then I saw gameplay and I said that looks interesting. And the other games, they're all pretty good. But then they announced the other 15. And it made me think to myself, wow, some of them are actually really fantastic, but the others just make you think, the fuck? Quite literally, the fuck. So, let me go ahead and read that list if you guys don't know what these games are already. The other 15 will be Battle Arena Toshinden, Cool Borders 2, Destruction Derby, Grand Theft Auto, the original, the first one, Intelligent Cube, Metal Gear Solid, Mr. Driller, Oddworld's Abe's Odyssey, Persona, the first Persona game, Rayman, Resident Evil Director's Cut, Super Puzzle Fighter Turbo,
oh god,
Syphon Filter, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six and Twisted Metal.
So I gotta say, Destruction Derby, I had a friend said he really liked it. A friend of mine mentioned that.
It's your fault. You should never.
So, full disclosure, before this, Hans was like, I have it on my Vita, and I said, why don't you give Lucas a try? After he went on for like 5 minutes about how bad it was. And then, Lucas, pretty good, right?
Yeah, I love crashing into things for a while. It was like I was crashing into cars. There was a car pileup. I love crashing into things. Sure, it's a bad game, but I had a fun time playing.
Alright, so Destruction Derby is a game that came out very early in the PlayStation's life cycle, okay? And I was given that game for free on the PS3. And of course I have a Vita. Why not download it? It was announced for the Classic. Let me see. Because I remember trying it before and I said, I'm not into it. I gave it an actual chance. I played it for like a good hour. And I'm just, again, you're driving through this game, and it's just like a circuit, and then you have some other circuits that intertwine and stuff like that. And the whole point is to crash into things. It was really well known because it was one of those first car racing games that actually shows damage as you play. But that's it. There's nothing more to the fucking game. You can play multiplayer, which will make use of the second controller they gave you, but it's a shit game. You drive around, you'll have the pileups, and those are okay for a few instances. Mm-hmm. But when that's the only thing of the game, that's the only thing you do, it's gonna get extremely old and extremely boring very quickly.
Yeah, not to mention it does have like 12 laps, which was kind of like, when is this shit gonna end? And when I did finish the final lap, I didn't even know if I won or not because it said you crashed or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Like
you took too much damage.
Yeah, you took too much damage, and I was like in the final lap, so I didn't know if I won that or not.
The game is shit. It was horrible. Why the fuck would they choose that? Not only that, you do get 2 other choices of cars, but each one of the other 2 cars is like a different mode of difficulty. You get the normal difficulty, which is the car you played with, then the easy one and the hard one.
Oh,
it's the same model car, just with different art on it. There's no difference. There's nothing different about it.
They thought they were being clever.
They thought they were being clever. It's a crap game. I've heard that the second one is better, but no. You have other choices you can choose. Games that Sony owns, IPs that they own. But let's get into the other games now. Okay, so Battle Arena Toshinden.
I have no idea what that is.
I don't blame you.
Isn't it pretty obscure? It sounds pretty obscure.
It's an obscure game, and sometimes obscure games are good. I didn't get to play because I haven't been able to get a copy of it. I don't think they have it digitally on the PlayStation. Now, I've seen gameplay. It doesn't seem like such a horrible game. But when you have a 3D fighter as good as Tekken 3, maybe you should stick with a different fighter, or maybe just a different game in its entirety. Again, this isn't that big of a sin. Just, again, there are better choices. Cool Borders 2, I'm okay with Cool Borders. I've actually played a little bit of it way back in the day. Not too much. I don't have too many memories with it, but I do love my snowboarding games. God, I love playing those. I think that's a pretty decent addition to the system. It gives you more choices to play more different game types.
Right.
I don't know what you guys think. Have you guys ever played snowboarding games?
I play SS Tricky, so I do like snowboarding.
SSX Tricky, fantastic game. Just think of it like a more dumbed down version of that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
So then we have, of course, Metal Gear Solid. Who's gonna complain? Fantastic game. So
now, I did bring this up during the podcast that we did because on the podcast we talked a little bit about this. Yeah. But you do have to play it. You do have to play Metal Gear Solid with no analog stick.
Oh, that is right. That's correct.
Yeah. And I don't know if someone pointed that out in the comment section for one of those for the story for when they announced the full list, and it just made perfect sense. I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I want to play it with just the D-pad. But still, though, it is doable. I think I did play a little with the D-pad.
And you can't like swap out controllers.
As of right now, we don't know if you're able to take your PS3 controller and just connect it. The system takes just a USB USB connection. It's not its own proprietary thing that Nintendo does with its classic systems. So hopefully you could just connect it with the USB with your PS3 controller, PS4 controller. Yeah, you'll be good to go.
But again, we don't know that yet.
We don't know that, so I'm hoping.
Also, some people were saying that, I think Ali mentioned this, but they might do like a second model or just a second controller for it, which I feel like, yeah, I mean, at this point, everyone has a PS3 controller or a PS4 controller.
Yeah, they might do
just let them connect it by USB. Let them do that.
Yeah, that might be intelligence of Sony, but then again, after seeing the full list, it doesn't seem like they're very intelligent up there right now.
Well, this is Model 1. Model 2 will probably have 40 games.
Oh, man.
Maybe.
I hope they don't do that. All right, again, continuing. Intelligent Cube. I'm actually very interested in this game.
I read it was good, and people were saying that it was pretty cool.
So again, I wish I've shown you guys some videos before doing this, but Intelligent Cube is basically you're on this big plane and everything's divided into just blocks, and you're trying to run through it and not get smushed by these blocks that come out from the ground and roll towards you.
I feel like I have played that game before.
And it looks like a very interesting game, and it looks like fun. Like, you have to basically think quickly so you don't get smashed. So I'm thinking, all right, that's a very obscure game, but a very interesting obscure game. That's good. And then they give us Grand Theft Auto 1. I'm not a big fan of top-down games. Some games can actually pull it off really well. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't played Grand Theft Auto 1.
This is the one you should have put on there. I don't know why they went with Grand Theft Auto 1, but
you could have had Grand Theft Auto 2.
You know what? I actually find it kind of cool because then I didn't get to play 1, so I would get to. But I don't know.
They're not linear,
is
right?
So good. What?
Are they linear? Like, is there a story to it?
No, I'm pretty sure there's not.
Again, we're all used to GTA 3 style and onward.
Yeah. They loosely, later on they loosely relate, but not in any specific way where you have to play them one by one.
So again, GTA 2 would have been a better choice. It's still top-down, but again, they've refined it. They've done more with the game. And just another bad choice.
I'm fine with the top-down. Although it is cool to see Grand Theft Auto in general. Again, I think 2 would have been better.
That's what I'm trying to say, yeah. 2 would have been a better choice. And now we go with Mr. Driller.
The hell is Mr. Driller?
It's another puzzle game. And again, if you can see in this image, you're this little pink guy, and you're supposed to drill down and destroy these blocks. And I think the point of the game is to get to the bottom. Again, I've seen gameplay. I haven't been able to try because I haven't been able to track down a copy.
I like puzzle games, but it's not like a noteworthy PlayStation 1 game that stands out and feels like it should be on this collection.
Yeah, exactly. Like when I think PlayStation, I don't think Mr. Driller. I talked to a bunch of other people and they don't tell me Mr. Driller. A lot of people don't even know what it is.
And that's kind of what this collection feels like it's full of. Is a lot of those types of games where it's like, that's not what I think of when I think of the PS1.
But then that's going to really disappoint a lot of people when you say 20 classic games. 20 games for the PlayStation Classic.
They should have just called it the Mini then. But I guess Nintendo has that word copyrighted.
No, they don't. They don't even call it the Mini. They call it...
But I feel like this is a bait.
Bait?
You're baiting people.
If you're baiting people and charging them $100 for 2 controllers and a mini console which probably has like the basics of
maybe I'm using the wrong term, but I feel like they're starting out now, tricking people and believing these are like classic games, but really they're not. And then when Model 2 comes out and you see the game list, then you're going to be more hyped for it.
I don't think they would do that though.
This is Sony.
I think if anything they would be more likely to tease for the PS2. Like, alright, we disappointed you a little with the PS1 Classic, but here's the PS2 Classic, which has like a much better library. I think another problem is just like, there's only 20 games. $100 for 20 games is not... Sure, it does save you money from buying this, 2 controllers,
and the games themselves.
20 games physically, sure, that's better, but I mean, I just... I don't think 20 games is that much.
The original NES had more, but again, that's probably because it's...
Quantity isn't everything, though. Quality-wise, the SNES and the NES choices were much better.
Top-notch fucking games. They even gave us the unreleased Star Fox 2 on the Super Nintendo. Yes, which made it a huge deal.
Because it was...
On top of games like
You couldn't even ROM that.
You could, actually. I did ROM it.
Oh, you did?
I did.
I had no
idea. It was a completed translation, they just didn't release it.
Oh wow.
I see.
But they officially released it, and now people have an easy way of playing it. Which I give Nintendo a lot of thumbs up for that. I mean, they put Earthbound on that thing. You guys know how much of an Earthbound fan I am.
Yep.
Yoshi's Story, Super Mario World, all these amazing top-notch games. And this is what Sony comes with. We're not done yet, though. So let's go on. Mr. Driller, again, it just looks like a Tetris wall. You're drilling down to get to the bottom. That's my best idea. And you have to pay attention to the air you have and to not get crushed.
It sounds like Dig Dug.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
It sounds like Dig Dug.
It's like a ripoff.
Again, it's not that much of an interesting game. You have better choices. Alright, now the next game. Oddworld Abe's Odyssey. Fucking love it. Good choice. But again, this is another case where the sequel is better. Oddworld Abe's Exodus is just as good, and if not better, than Oddworld
Why not
Abe's
just
Odyssey.
do both? Why not just do the first and the second?
Yeah, I should have done that.
Well, again, you only have 20 slots.
Then make 22 slots. They
like,
can
I want
do
to know
it.
how they did the polling for these
You're
games.
giving them $100. They're taking $100 per console. They can give you an additional game. They can give you the first and the second.
Is
game.
it possible?
I'm in agreement with you, actually. But again, they're not thinking smart.
Is it possible to look up, like, during that time, what was popular for the PS1?
Dude, if we look up what was popular, you're going to see Gran Turismo 2, you're going to see fucking Tony Hawk, you're going to see, what else?
Yeah, probably can't do
Crash
Tony
Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon.
But so you can't do those two, Crash and Spyro, because they've already been remade.
Again,
and Medieval also kind of is up there as well.
Yeah.
Medieval was also... It should have been on this list, but here's the thing. People have been putting up this argument that that games that have a remake shouldn't be on these consoles, but Final Fantasy VII is getting a remake.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on this console, yeah.
But it's on this console. You have Resident Evil Director's Cut, fantastic game, but it has a remake already.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's on this console.
As a Persona fan, I have to give a shout out to the first Persona. I've never played it, but it's cool that
I'm
it's
cool
on
with-
there.
I'm surprised it was a first person.
Again, another obscure game
Not
that Sony made a really good decision on putting on this thing.
Yeah.
But then you make another stupid decision and putting in. I'm not gonna shit on Rayman 1. I did like Rayman 1.
I hated Rayman 1.
It was difficult as shit.
Yeah.
But I would have preferred Rayman 2.
Yeah.
Rayman 2, a 3D platforming game that was fantastic. Apparently better on the N64, but still playable on the PS1.
Once again, at this point, they should have just given you both. I don't see why they can't do the first game and the second. Like, so let's say Nintendo wants to give you an NES Castlevania game. You know, are they just gonna give you the first Castlevania? It's like that would be blasphemous. They should give you at least 1 and 3. I think they even gave you. I think they just gave all 3.
Again, you can search this up.
Yeah.
Now, I think another reason why they didn't give us both Rayman 1 and 2 is because of licensing issues with Ubisoft.
No.
And the same thing with GTA 1 and 2. But again, if you only have the choice of one of the two, choose the better one. You're making us pay $100. Give us top-notch games. Don't just give us shovelware.
All right, so they gave us The NES Mini had Castlevania and Castlevania 2, not 3, but that did have 2. They also gave you Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr.
You see, Nintendo, again, if you don't like the first one, you have the second one to play, and if you don't like the second one, you got the first one.
Yeah.
Again, you have choices. Here, Sony, you gave us 20, making us pay 100, and you're giving us the lesser version of the game.
It's also $20 cheaper for an SNES Classic.
True.
So just keep that in mind as well.
So, we went through Rayman, Resident Evil Director's Cut, okay, awesome. Resident Evil's amazing. Ridge Racer Type 4, I already announced that. This is the one that makes me scratch my head the most. Sony, you have a deal with Capcom, you're putting 2 other games on this system. Resident Evil, and then the fucking second one you choose is Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo.
Oh, I hate that game so much. Oh.
Am I bad for liking that game? I had fun with it.
No, you can have fun with it.
Yeah, you can have fun with it. Just why?
But why put it on the classic? If you're making a deal with Capcom, you have other choices to make.
I think I know which one you're thinking of specifically.
I love Street Fighter Alpha 3.
Yeah.
The PS1 version of Street Fighter Alpha 3 gives you a shit ton of content. I have it on disc.
Unfortunately, I wasn't thinking of that game. I was thinking about the Mega Man Legends series.
No, that's another choice. Again, you have either Street Fighter Alpha 2 or 3 to give us, or if you don't want to give us a Street Fighter game, you can't get it. Give us Mega Man Legends.
Or the Misadventures of Tron Bonne.
Or the Misadventures of Tron Bonne.
But you know what?
These are choices that don't have remakes. Capcom doesn't have a reason to tell you no. And again, you have it on the PlayStation 3 store. Mega Man Legends 1 and 2 and Tron Bonne. Mm-hmm. Why not get one of those on the classic?
I think one of the problems here is that this thing comes out at the wrong time. A lot of developers and a lot of publishers, they're not gonna let them use games because Street Fighter, they just had the 30th anniversary. Crash, Insane Trilogy, Spyro, Medieval. A lot of these games are getting like redone, retouched up.
That's true.
Notice Resident Evil 2 isn't on there. Resident Evil 1 was good. I think Resident Evil 2 was much better.
I'm in agreement.
So,
yeah, but it's getting a remake, so that's why it's not.
Yeah,
on
so it's not going to be on. The
But
only
then-
exception being Final Fantasy VII.
But the reason 7's on there is because the 7 remake is taking a long time. We've been promised the remake for 7 for like 5 years now.
Sure. Yeah, all the other ones, it's either out or it's coming out soon or something like that.
We don't know when 7's remake is coming out.
So maybe this was just a bad time, but they probably felt forced, like their hand was forced, because Nintendo did 2 of these already and they haven't had
Also,
one.
where's Croc? You guys play Croc?
Oh,
Yo,
yeah,
Croc was fantastic.
Croc is not on this.
Yeah.
Croc would have been a fantastic. It's an unknown IP. It couldn't have cost you a lot to license that game on the PS1 Classic. It couldn't have. Again, you licensed Mr. Driller and Destruction Derby because they don't own those IPs. You licensed those 2 games, which are not that good. They're not that memorable. But Croc and Croc 2, you could have gotten either one of them. Put it on the system where it'd been like, Sony, great choice, amazing, you guys are smart. But you don't do it.
Nope. It could be just a licensing issue. Maybe they don't have the license to Croc anymore. That's why they can't put it on.
Well,
here.
Sony never owned Croc. They never owned it. The thing is, they don't. Most of the games that are on the Classic, they don't own. They're paying money to put these games on.
Oh, okay.
So Croc being such a... It hasn't been used in forever. So because this game is not that well known, but it's still a good game, it probably would have been cheaper to get the license for Croc and put it on the PS1 Classic than having gotten Mr. Driller.
Yeah, true.
Which is owned by Namco. Well, now Bandai Namco. Again, just another really stupid decision.
True.
And again, licensing also comes into play when it comes to Gran Turismo and Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk and Gran Turismo 1 and 2 were fantastic on the PS1. God knows I spent too many hours of my life.
Just give us Tony Hawk, but make all the pro skaters generic people, and also make the music just take out the soundtrack. Just take like music that you have.
That's literally the issue. Again, the likeness of the people and the soundtrack. When it comes to Tony Hawk,
I would still play it. I mean, it wouldn't be as good because it's not that nostalgic and the music and whatnot, but I would still play it. I think it would still be
It's
good.
still a fantastic game. Like, it doesn't matter if it's the person or not. The stats are still going to be there. The gameplay is still going to be the same. God, it was so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
But again, licensing issues will hold it back.
Yeah, because there's no Disney classic games on it, like Hercules, The Emperor's New Groove.
Is Chrono Cross on this thing?
Yes.
It
Chrono
is.
Cross
Okay.
would have been another fantastic choice.
Oh, it's not on.
It's not on it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
What about like Xenogears? I think
It's also not on it.
I thought. What? Wait.
Again, Xenogears would have been a fantastic choice. Again, I have a full list of all these PlayStation 1 games that could have been on it. All right, so again,
there's none.
your licensing issues, music, and the likeness of the people for Tony Hawk, that's going to be an issue. It's going to be a pain in the ass to put the game on it. Now, when it comes to Gran Turismo, again, licensing issues with music and the cars themselves. You got to talk to these car companies and tell them, hey, could we use these cars again for this re-release? And these companies would have been like, sure, give us all your money and you can do it. Like, no, it's going to cost a shit ton of cash. There's a reason why Gran Turismo 2 or 1 isn't on the system. I was okay with Ridge Racer Type 4 because it seems like fun. A lot of people keep saying it's good. The best in the series, apparently. Again, can make better choices. Syphon Filter, I tried it before. I had some trouble with it, but again, it's still a better game.
Mm-hmm.
Tekken is an interesting choice just because apparently there is no digital version of it. You can't get a PS1 Classic
Of
on the
Tekken 3
PSN
or 2
store.
or anything.
So this would be your only option for something like that.
And again, Tekken 3 is a pretty fucking good game.
Although, that's like the only fighting game on here, isn't it? Or one
No,
of the-
you have Battle Arena
Right.
Toshinden.
But it's only one of the big. It's like only one of the like big fighting games that you
You want to
have.
hear something interesting?
What?
Yeah.
So I googled PS1 games, and the most popular choices are these. And I have not seen any of those obscured games.
There's Tekken 3, there's Resident Evil 2, there's fucking Final Fantasies,
7, yep.
but none of these fucking games come out.
And no Silent Hill.
I'm gonna be honest though. I would have not been too against it if instead of giving us Final Fantasy 7, they gave us 8 or 9.
I loved 9,
because it's,
so I'm cool with that.
Who hasn't played Final Fantasy 7 at this point? And the remake is coming out. Oh, okay.
Okay.
But it's like everywhere. And
I actually have Final Fantasy 7 on my Vita.
why not give us a game that it's like, okay, it's still a good game, but it's not as popular, but you might actually have some fun with it too.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm in agreement with you. Final Fantasy 7 is available everywhere, especially on your PS4. I would have liked to see Final Fantasy 9, me personally, because I love 9, and you only have it for the PS3, you can't, and the Vita and PSP, because you can download it in Vita. Anyway, I digress. But again, they probably would have gotten their shit torn in if they hadn't added it to the classic. But then again, you're still getting your shit torn in because you gave us shit games.
They also couldn't do the Spider-Man game on the PS1. That would have been a good one.
Why couldn't they do that?
Because Marvel Spider-Man just
Again, they have to get licenses from Disney and Marvel now.
Yeah.
Even
and
though-
we all know how Disney is easy to talk to and whatnot.
No.
Also, they couldn't do Symphony of the Night because that just got re-released.
God, would have been
Yeah,
so
there's
great
a
on the
lot of
classic.
games.
This mini console, and we keep pointing to this. It's not this one, but the PlayStation 1 Classic is just literally a good idea, but at the worst time and with terrible execution. They couldn't have picked the worst time. Everything is getting remade. I don't know, or remade. Sorry, I don't know why they chose to do it now.
They said they saw Nintendo doing it. It's like, hey, we can do it too.
Yeah, but again, if you're gonna do it fucking right. Even with all these remakes coming out, you still could have given us top-notch games, amazing top-shelf fantastic AAA titles,
Yeah.
but you don't.
So
All right, so now let's go on. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. No analog sticks.
True.
It's a shooter on the PS1. Shooters on the PS1 weren't that great, but then you go out of your way to make a deal with Ubisoft to get a second game, and you give us Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six.
yeah.
You need the analog, man.
I don't know what the fuck you guys are smoking, but let me get a hit because that must be some trippy shit.
Pass it. Pass over here.
Pass it over here. I know you're probably cringing, but I don't understand.
That's so funny.
Ah, God, it gives me a headache sometimes.
What else you got?
All right, and then the other five are the. Oh, actually, no, Twisted Metal, the last one.
Yeah, Twisted Metal's alright.
All right, Twisted Metal is fun, but here's the problem: they gave us the original, the first Twisted Metal. The same issue we have with GTA. The first one was okay, but the second one is better by far. Same thing with GTA 2. It's the same problem with Twisted Metal. Again, I've played Twisted Metal. I have it on the Vita. I tried it. It's okay. It's entertaining, but the second one is just so much better. And if not the second one, the third one is still better.
Mm-hmm. Twisted Metal 2 was great.
Another thing that would have been solved by just giving multiple of the same franchise.
Exactly. And again, Sony owns Twisted Metal. You can make good decisions. I know you can. But you don't do it. So we tore to shreds the list. Now let's list the games that we wish had been on the classic. And I have a huge list. You guys can just go on.
Yeah, well, because I missed out on the PS1, I really don't have any memory of the PS1 catalog at all. I was trying to think of earlier what my favorite PS1 game is, and I can't think of... Actually, I guess it would be Resident Evil 2, but... yeah, I just don't... All I could say is I would have rather Resident Evil 2 instead of Resident Evil 1. Some of the games that Hans was saying that were bad, definitely out. A Street Fighter Alpha 3 would have been good, so that we had if Tekken's not really your thing, you have another cool fighting game to try out besides the battle one. And then just Final Fantasy 8 or 9 instead of 7. Because, come on, Final Fantasy 7 again? What's the point? It's getting remade. It's the most popular one. Why not give them the opportunity to, just try a new Final Fantasy instead of the one that we've all played a million times, except Lucas, that's getting remade. And,
I mean, I played Final Fantasy 10.
But that is just me, and that does actually go a little bit against, I want to acknowledge, that does go a little bit against a lot of points he made, because then I'm arguing for the least popular version, but I just think that Final Fantasy is, extremely overrated, so why not go with 8 or 9, which one of my friends says is 8 is, the best Final Fantasy ever.
I've heard people say the same thing, 8 was fantastic.
I've heard 9 is really good, so...
It is, oh my god.
We just can never play those games because we're always playing Final Fantasy 7. What's the point?
For my choices would be Crash Team Racing.
Oh, fuck the hell yes.
Just for the lulz, Tetris.
No, just for the lulz would have been Pepsi Man.
Pepsi Man.
It was on this list.
Yeah.
All right,
It
seriously.
Pepsi Man was on this list.
If you had given us Pepsi Man, I would have laughed my ass off, and I would have been like, it's a shit game, but Sony, thank you. Because it's not easy to get that game. It's not fantastic. It's shit. But it's funny. It's for the lulz. You could have done it, but you still made a bad decision.
Digimon World 1 and 2?
No, 2 was shit, 1 or 3.
I love 2.
Okay, 1, 2, or 3. One of those 3. You could have given it to us. You made a deal with Bandai Namco, and you gave us Mr. Driller.
What the fuck is Mr. Driller?
What the fuck is that game? No. Ugh.
Silent Hill. They don't have Silent Hill.
Although Silent Hill 2 was much better.
If I remember correctly, the Japanese version of the PlayStation Classic has different games.
Oh, it does?
Armored Core, and I think Silent Hill is on that.
They could have had Mega Man X series.
The Mega Man X series, but then again, there was that re-release, but still, they could have. 4 or 5 are one of my favorites. They could have added one of them.
Pretty much Doom, Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories.
I don't think they would have done Yu-Gi-Oh!
Well, I mean, they could have.
think they would have.
It's Konami, right?
Konami, yes.
Yeah, so don't they have a Konami game on this list?
Oh, Metal Gear, yeah.
Yeah, Metal Gear.
Yeah, so
they made a deal with Konami.
To get that. But not any of the Yu-Gi-Oh games. Okay.
I mean, they didn't have Castlevania, Symphony of the Night.
That's true. Castlevania wasn't...
Alright, so... I'm gonna go from least likely
Damn you.
to... Oh, you thought I was kidding.
Oh,
You thought I was kidding.
Okay, go
Okay,
for it.
okay. So I'm gonna go from least likely, okay? Any Tony Hawk game or any Gran Turismo game, again, would have been amazing, but because of licensing issues, extremely unlikely. Any Spyro game, any Crash game, especially Crash Team Racing, would have been fucking perfect for this. But again, Activision likes to be greedy with their IPs, and they've had re-releases except for Crash Team Racing, which I'm hoping they do make a remake of that shit.
That's my crap.
That almost seems like a loophole. They would have had this would be the perfect opportunity
to put Crash Team Racing, right?
Because it's not in the Insane trilogy, and they're probably not going to remake it, so it would have been perfect for this.
It should have been, but it's not.
No.
Plus, there are no kart racing games on this.
Exactly, but they gave us fucking Destruction Derby.
Yes.
Instead of Destruction Derby, you could have given us Wipeout. Any of the Wipeout games for the PS1 would have been fantastic. Again, you own that IP, Sony. And if not Wipeout, if there's any fucking issues with it, one IP I know you fucking own is Jet Moto. And if you guys haven't played Jet Moto, holy shit, it is fun. It's a little clunky, but damn it. You're riding these hover motorcycles, and every character has its own, like, kink to it. Not kink, their own, like, personality to it. They speak to each other while they're racing. And the courses are fantastic. You do these jumps and flips and shit like that. Oh my god, what a fun series. And if you would have given us 2, you would have literally given us the first game. Because the second game has all the tracks from the first one. Again, you own that IP. And you decide to pay money to put a shit game like Destruction Derby as your second racer.
Guys, I think the takeaway from this video is that Hans is a huge fan of Destruction Derby. Send Destruction Derby t-shirts to this man.
Send the merch. Give out your email.
I wonder if that even exists.
Address.
All right,
So they can send it to you.
Now here's another thing, because they made a deal with Square Enix to give us Final Fantasy VII. Where the fuck is Tomb Raider?
Oh yeah.
Any Tomb Raider game would have been
right.
great.
Ooh.
Sure, it's had a reboot, but again, that's a reboot. It's a different series. It's a different game. Any fucking Tomb Raider game would have been fantastic on this.
I think it's just Square probably has a really high price. They probably had to pay far out the ass for
Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, Final Fantasy.
Which
VII.
then again, it would have been cheaper to get 8 or 9, right?
Yeah, and then you could give us Tomb Raider.
A Tomb Raider. All right, so here's another thing. Tomba and Croc.
Oh,
we talked about Croc.
Tomba.
Tomba.
What is-
Again, they actually own Tomba. They own that IP. They re-released both games on the PS3, so they have the game. They can do shit with the game. Why is it not on the
They
classic?
probably say, oh, it's on the PSN, so they can buy it anytime they want. Bad marketing.
Anyway, fucking asshole. Medieval, it's getting a remake, sure. But then there's a sequel to Medieval 2, which is pretty good. Why is it not here? It could have been excellent advertisement for the remake that's coming out.
Or again, you could have just done 1, 2. You know, you could have done all the Medieval games. They can't be that expensive.
No, they're not, because they own that IP.
Oh, okay. Well, then there
They
you go.
own it. All right.
I don't know.
You made a deal with Capcom. You gave us Resident Evil. But then Super Puzzle Fighter. We already said Mega Man Legends or Trombone. We already said fucking Street Fighter Alpha 2 or 3. Here's another fucking choice you could have had. Dino Crisis.
Or Dino Crisis 2.
Or Dino Crisis 2. Fantastic games. Basically Resident Evil with dinosaurs. Who doesn't fucking want that? I want that.
Definitely want that.
That would be cool.
Why is it not here?
I didn't know that was a Capcom game.
It is a Capcom game,
Nice.
if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it is.
Klonoa would have been a fantastic choice. But again, you decide to choose the other shitty games. But okay, let's continue on with the list. We already said Digimon World 1, 2, or 3. Any one of those would have been great. Let's see. Soul Reaver would have been fucking amazing. But you still don't make that choice. I'm not sure if they own Soul Reaver. I gotta double check that. But, oh no. Eidos owns it, which means Square Enix owns
Square
it.
Enix.
So I gotta make another deal with them.
Again, you could have made another deal with Square Enix. So you could have given us either Soul Reaver or Tomb Raider. Sony. Oh, you make me so angry. Gex. Gex. The first Gex I wasn't a fan of, but 2 and 3 were great. Again, another fantastic 3D platformer. It was fun on the PS1. I'm still having fun with Gex 2. Why is it not here, Sony? Again, another deal with Square Enix you could have made. Soul Blade. We just had Soul Calibur 6 come out. Soul Blade would have been a great choice. A better choice than Battle Arena Toshinden. Again, you're making deals with all these other companies, but
They're just not thinking.
they're not thinking.
Just not thinking. Personally, I would have any Disney classics on there. Like Disney's Hercules, Disney's Emperor's New Groove.
From Monsters Inc. or Shrek or something like that.
Shrek.
Those
Was Shrek
licensed
out
ones.
during that time?
I think it was
I don't...
Shrek Treasure Hunt.
PS1?
Yeah, PS1.
Yeah, but it's
Damn.
kind of... It had mid to mid-high points and reviews.
4.9 out of 5. That's a great review.
Yeah, but the lowest is
4.6 out of
3.2, but that's eBay apparently. Now, Sony, again, another IP you have, and you could have given us that fucking game instead of Mr. Driller and whatever. Parappa the fucking Rapper.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, I'm
waiting for
surprised
that
that's
one.
not on it. I'm really surprised.
They own it. But again, they did have a remaster for the PS4. Okay, fair.
That came out, right?
It did come out. But here's another game that had a shit ton of content and that I fucking loved. It's a spin-off from Parappa the Rapper called Jammer Lammy. Now, Lammy is another character. She's a lamb, of course, and she plays her guitar. And it's basically Parappa the Rapper, but with guitar. Basically, Guitar Hero before it was fucking Guitar Hero. It's a fantastic game. The characters are cute. The story is fun. And when you're done with the main story with Lammy, you get to play as fucking Parappa right after. And it has a 2-player versus. And it's more refined than Parappa the Rapper 1. I had a shit ton of fun with it. But again, you give us games like Destruction Derby, Mr. Driller, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. And once again, they own the IP.
Right.
We should take over the marketing department.
I kind of just want to look at them in the eye and just ask them, why do you make these bad decisions? Why are you charging us so much money and giving us subpar games? Again, these are things that make me scratch my head at night. This is what keeps me up at night. Why does Sony do so many dumb things? And they made a lot of bad decisions in the past. Just one more no. We talked about the original controller. It doesn't have any analog sticks on it, which means some games are impossible to play, like Ape Escape. We put Ape Escape on our channel. Holy shit, we had so much fun with that.
Oh my god, they didn't put Ape Escape.
They can't put Ape Escape because you need the analog sticks.
That's true. Maybe that's why.
So that's another mistake you made with the classic, not going the full distance and putting the analog sticks.
I didn't understand that. I really didn't understand why they did that.
Me neither. I heard some people say on YouTube it probably could have been because of some sort of licensing issue with the analog sticks or something. I don't know.
No, that wouldn't.
I don't know anything about that. Again, hopefully they'll give us the option of using our PS3 controllers or something like that.
Honestly, I just kind of feel like these types of classic consoles are pretty pointless because, I don't know, like at our ages, we have most of these games or some access to most of these games. I would much rather just want backwards compatibility than this. This is really nice and really cute, but I feel like it's pointless, and I'm not really a big fan of the Nintendo ones either, so to me it just seems like a big waste of money. Except if you never had this console before. In that case, this is a great idea to catch when maybe it hits like $60 or something, because then right out the bat you have like 20, 30 games that you've never played before. But for like guys like us, like we've played a lot of these games, at $100 for 20 games, not a great list, and it just doesn't seem like a great idea when I should be able to just take the disc that I do have, put it into my PS4, and then my PS4 can actually read it and play it. PS1 games, PS2 games, PS3 games. So, and then on top of that, your solution was either PlayStation Now, which wasn't great, or just doing PS1 classics or PS2 classics, but you've slowly stopped updating those. We don't really get new PS2 classics anymore.
We didn't even get any PlayStation 1 classics.
Yeah. They were they're talking about how you'll be able to play all these PS1 classics on the Vita, and they're gonna keep updating it. It was like at some point that stopped happening completely, and that was a bummer.
I think the last PS1 game they added was 2 years ago, and that was like Mega Man Legends 2.
Yeah, but now you can't even buy it on the PS4. You have to buy it on the PS3.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go back to the PS3 because
A lot of people say that. A lot of people don't want to go back to their old consoles, ironically. But Lucas, any final thoughts?
I mean, my final thoughts is like picking back off of you is like, if you're gonna re-release any PS1 classic, PS2 classic, or even PS3 classics, put it in the PSN store and let the PS4 handle everything, or the PS5 if it's ever coming out.
I agree.
Yeah, I completely agree with both of them. Backwards compatibility is the best solution to this kind of shit. You could have given us a package deal. 20 games for what? Let's say $25-$50.
Yeah.
Right? And you just give us this list of games. Even if it was this list of games, $25 or $50 for 20 games wouldn't have been that bad of an idea. Even with this shit list of games, but you're charging us $100 for a mini console and 2 controls with no analog sticks.
It's not even a good deal.
It's not a good deal. I'm still getting it for the nostalgic reasons and for other reasons, which I won't mention in the show.
That's right.
But I do have some ulterior motives for this. But it still leaves me with a bad taste in my mouth.
I'm so surprised that he didn't cancel his pre-order after no Parappa, no Crash at all, nothing.
No Spyro, no Wipeout or Jet Moto, which we're gonna put Jet Moto on this fucking channel so you guys can see what I mean. We're gonna put Jet Moto on this fucking channel. Oh, you guys will see the majesty that is Jet Moto.
Alright, so we actually did some polling for this, in preparation of this video. We did go to our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, just to kind of see what people, what our audience thought about this PlayStation Classic console.
That's right. Yeah, like you said, we let you guys choose and basically vote and let us know what you guys think of it. So go ahead.
So what we did get is we asked on Twitter what people think of specifically the PlayStation Classic lineup. Choices being awesome, meh, and what the fuck were they thinking? And we got 100% meh. So everyone thought meh on the game list. Definitely not a surprise considering what we've been discussing this whole time.
We asked the same question. We asked the same question on Facebook. We had 14% people that actually thought it was awesome, and then the only other choice, because Facebook only gives us 2 choices to put down, is what the fuck were they thinking?
Which
and
is
a whopping
86%.
86%. So yeah.
So we did like questions and polls on Instagram. Question was, which games from the PS1 Classic revealed today are you excited and disappointed about? Random Gaming Plus on Instagram says, never played Tekken 3 and Battle Arena Toshinden, but where is Soul Edge? Profound sadness.
Yep.
Exactly. Soul Blade, Soul Edge. Again, would have been fantastic.
Mementos Cosplay on Instagram says, Revelations Persona. So another Persona fan. Glad to see Persona represented. So that's pretty cool.
Which we will put that game on the channel when we get the classic.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I'm game. The next question was, what games were you hoping would be on the PS1 Classic but weren't? Random Gaming Plus once again said Soul Edge. And then finally we had a couple of polls. So we had, are you getting the PS1 Classic? We had, so yes or no. 80% said no, and 20% said yes.
What's the next question?
Hold on, I want to see. Oh, it was okay. I thought it was you that voted for that. I'm like, who was the 20%? The next question was, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about this classic mini console trend? So like the PlayStation Classic, the Nintendo mini consoles. How do you feel about it as a trend? Thumbs up, thumbs down. It was actually split. It's 50-50.
Thumbs up
thumbs
for
up.
yes, thumbs down for no.
So it was kind of like half and half. Mm-hmm. I guess some people like it, some people don't. I think it's unnecessary, but I do see the appeal, kind of.
It's a fad.
It is a fad.
It's definitely
started by Nintendo.
You don't need to do it.
And finally, the most important question, which I believe, although we discovered that it also applies to the SNES Classic as well, because I thought that SNES had like 40. But the question is, 20 games is ... enough or not enough? And we got 67% said not enough, and 33% said enough.
No.
So,
Indeed.
yeah. I should have put in that it was a $100 console as well, because some people may have not known that.
Yeah.
But yeah, 20 games, $100. I think the general consensus is that it just isn't enough.
The quality is not there, and 20 games is just too little.
No.
We would have been talking some real good stuff if you had given us 30 games and they were all top notch. Like, that would have made this system such a good seller. Plus, if you had given us analog sticks.
Yeah, it's 20 and not a great selection of 20 games is not a good showcase of the full PS1 catalog.
It doesn't even showcase what the PS1 was really about.
I just think
Most of these games.
I feel like because of that, in the long run, the console is just not going to hold up very well as a good choice.
Yeah. There's still people out there hooking up their NES or SNES Classic and playing it every once in a while. I don't know the longevity of the PS1 Classic. I don't know how long, if people are really gonna even want to keep it for a while. I mean, I've spoke to a lot of people at my job and some friends and family, and they tell me, yeah, sure, for Metal Gear Solid and Final Fantasy VII, I'll get the Classic. But that's just 2 games they're gonna play. The rest of the fucking 18 games they're not even gonna touch. And that's a shame.
Yeah, basically.
That is a real fucking shame when you know Nintendo is killing it with their NES and Super NES Classic. And you know they're going to come strong when they release the N64 Classic, which you can bet your ass
that they're working on it.
They're working on it. I already seen the logo they're putting out.
They're working on it.
I even made a mock-up box art for it because I knew at some point Nintendo was going to make it. Which I'll probably end up putting in this thing soon, probably like right next to one of them on my face.
But no
I'll
one's
probably just have it move around.
Is anyone hyped for the Xbox Classic?
Jeez, what classics does it have? Halo?
Pretty much.
Halo.
That's the only game you need.
There we go. That's the Xbox Classic.
I like DOA.
I mean,
that's about it.
Probably Doom.
Yeah, but
Doom came out.
But it's not even like an
no?
exclusive
It's
to
not
it.
exclusive.
I thought it was.
Grabbed by the Ghoulies apparently wasn't bad. Anyway, I digress. N64 Classic is going to be fantastic. You know Nintendo's going to come strong with it. And Sony, you have to just imagine the execs at Nintendo looking at this lineup and saying, well, we don't have to worry. Because a lot of people already canceled the orders for this thing, and we're just going to reap the benefits from it. Because you know for a fact, Pokemon Stadium, Mario Party, Super Mario 64,
Paper Mario.
Paper Mario.
Basically all Mario games on the N64.
Hey, you Pikachu.
Well, they need the microphone attachment for that.
If they could get No Mercy, that would be sick.
Bomberman 64.
If they're able to make a deal with Microsoft, they could even get what's that game called? Killer Instinct. And maybe even Banjo-Kazooie if they work well with Microsoft.
Or Conkers.
Or Conkers. Again, Nintendo has... You put the ball in their court. You literally told them, here, take the ball and the rackets. Because you won this.
Glover.
Glover would have been great.
This, I hate to say it, but this does kind of seem like it's PlayStation All-Stars Smash Bros. Kind of thing. Even though that game was good, it didn't stand up to Smash. But this is somehow even worse.
Yeah.
Because this is even way worse of an attempt at just copying what they're doing.
Oh, I forgot one game to mention. And it just came to mind. Because you mentioned
PlayStation
All-Stars. Legend of Dragoon.
Oh, that's right. That wasn't on.
Another game that could have been good. And again, Sony, you own the IP to it. So, sorry to burst into that, but I just completely forgot. I must have missed it on the list. But yeah.
That's how we feel about the PlayStation 1 Classic.
Indeed.
Let us know in the comments, which I'm sure a lot of people are already cracking away at the keyboard because we said a lot of things.
Probably smashing the screen because we talked negatively about Final Fantasy VII.
Things, or Sony. But yeah, so let us know in the comments. Thank you also to everyone who hit up our polls, who sent us in responses to our questions. Over on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We appreciate you guys. You're the best. And then we're gonna, just make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. We're always keeping our ears to the ground in the game industry. We're looking out for interesting videos that are like relevant to bring out. Maybe we'll do something like this again soon.
If you guys want to hear us talk more about our opinions on certain things, like maybe what Blizzard recently did. Oh, you're dying.
Oh no.
Oh,
no.
If you guys ever want to hear us talk about that kind of stuff, let us know. Smash that like button, triple smash that subscribe button, comment, message us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, follow our Discord, which we now have. Let us know. Let us know what you guys want us to do. Your wishes are our command. Okay?
And thank you for checking out the video. Also, thank you for
our
good
thank
friend
you for having me here.
BioVenom.
guys. Give a nice big karate chop to all of his Instagram and social media accounts. Follow him.
You can follow me at LuluSpace7 on Instagram, and you can follow me on Twitter, LuluSpaceXYZDragon.
And now we're gonna do a big roundhouse kick to the end of this video. So thank you guys, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Peace.